you just got to learn to leave the business at business. And when you're with family, it's family time. And that's one of the biggest things I think my dad has taught us is like, hey, when you're at work, you can have disagreements. You can have things that you go through at work that need to stay at work. As soon as 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever time that is, hits, you get home, business is done. And we're family first, not a business first.
Welcome to the On-Site Podcast. We chat with contractors, educators, industry professionals about the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So without further ado, let's fucking get into it. All right, welcome back to the On-Site Podcast, episode 60. Holy shit. That's been a hot minute. I can't believe we've gotten to episode 60. First off, thank you for everyone that's listening. Really appreciate your support and your encouragement. We are actually attracting some sponsors as well, which I'm super excited about, and I can't wait to share some of those with you. But today we have a special guest, Joel, from Joe's Carpentry. So Joel is actually one of the clients of Brady, who is one of the coaches inside of the Elite Builder Society. And dude, I'm excited to have you on the podcast today. Brady's told me so much about you, and I can't wait to dig into this. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, no problem. It's been great. Brady's been great. So I love working with Brady. And he introduced me to obviously the EBS, and it's been great.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you. So dude, the company's name is Joe's Carpentry. Who's Joe?
Yeah, so Joe is my grandpa. He started the company in 1975. So we just had our 50th year last year, and my grandpa is still alive. He lives just down the street from us here. And my dad and my uncle now own the companies together. So there's basically 3 companies here. There's Joe's Carpentry, which is the renovation side of things. We have a homes division, which is the Lagen Homes. And then we also have a cabinetry company. So 3 companies in one. They're kind of separated out, but
so 3 companies in one company. Did your grandpa start all 3 of those, or is that something like your dad got into or you got into?
Yeah, so my grandpa, when he started, he was just like himself and one other guy that worked for him for years, and they would kind of get a little bigger and a little smaller, but like he had 3 or 4 guys working for him. Then my dad came in 1990s. When he was out of school, he went for machinist, got a machinist job. And then a year later, the company he was working for went out of business. So he came back and said to my grandpa, "You got any work for me?" And it was slow at the time, but they had a job in Hamilton, Ontario. And my grandpa said, "Yeah, I got some work for you. You can come work for me." My grandpa was not great with the numbers. He didn't do the pricing. He didn't do the quoting. None of that. So basically my dad came in and he said, "Here you go. You can learn the office stuff. We need an office person." So my dad was working on site a couple days a week, and he was in the office quoting and pricing and doing sales and just learning on the fly. Didn't have any education in it. Just figure it out.
Wow.
That was my grandpa's way. So
3 generations. That's cool. Do we have a 4th generation, in the works?
Yeah. So me and my brother work in the company. My brother. So I'm one of 7.
Okay.
The oldest of 7. And my brother, who's a year younger than me, works in the company as well. And then my sister does our marketing, one of my sisters. Okay. And then from there, like none of the other kids are in the company. They all work other jobs. We love to have the 4th generation. There's no 4th generation yet. So
not yet. Not in the works. It's coming. It's coming. It's got to come, because you got 3 generations in the pipeline here. That's impressive, dude. And it's not an easy industry either to kind of build generational growth in. I'm not going to talk about generational wealth, because it's like, there are ebbs and flows in the business, as you're well aware of, and so watching your dad go through that shit, you're probably like, I have no idea what this guy's going through right now. Whereas now you're like, oh, I get it.
There was definitely times when I was younger where I didn't realize how tight money was. Too young for that. We didn't know, but where my dad struggled, especially around 2000, like in the 2000s where the economy was not great, like the struggle that he went through just to keep us afloat as a family. Looking back on it, like I was a young kid, I didn't know that.
No, I know.
But he persevered, and now he's 55. He wants to retire when he's 60. So we're working on.
That's up to you.
Yeah, taking over the business, but it's
cool.
great. Like with him, the knowledge he has of like the late 2000s where stuff was not great. Even now, like today, like the economy isn't great, and he has a lot of knowledge to pull back on and say, "Hey, we'll get through it. We know how to do this. It's not the end of the world."
For sure.
Sometimes it looks like leads are drying up and work's drying up, and it's like, no, stuff will come in. We'll keep it moving.
I've been through enough economical
tornadoes, let's call it, economical tornadoes. I don't know if that's a thing. We can name it though. I've been through enough of those to understand that, dude, there are people paying and hiring people through every storm that exists, and it's all about just getting the right visibility and having a great product and pricing it effectively. If you can do those three things, then somebody will sniper you into their tornado of shit. And as long as you can pick the right people along the way, you know, and generate true profit, then it's a win-win. But yeah, dude, that's cool. So 3 generations, you must be proud. You must carry, it must actually carry a little bit more pressure, you know, because like when my son didn't get into my business, he's going into his own industry, but he saw, you know, the hardship that we went through in our household. And so he knows what it's like. And you can tell now too, like the way he approaches things, he's like, fuck, I knew, like, I get it now. I get what you guys, you know, have to go through as business owners, but, you know, entering into this industry now with so much confidence, having Brady in your corner, you know, supporting you guys, and tools like that really just give you kind of this, like, this iron edge that you get add to your sword, so to speak, that gives you this, you know, ability. Because a lot of people, like, you're in the Ontario area, a lot of people in Ontario just always blame it to something. Like, it's like the market's bad, the clients suck, all these problems exist. And yes, they do. There are things that suck, but there are also really good customers out there if you're positioning yourself effectively. And so you mentioned somebody internally is doing your marketing. What are some of the marketing things that you guys are primarily doing?
We do Meta, Google Ads. Oh, we touch everything in marketing. We were actually just had a marketing meeting. We came out of a marketing meeting just before, and we're going to be looking at strategic partnering with a couple like designers or architectural firms, trying to drum up business that way. So there's a bunch of different stuff we do on the marketing. We try to spend about 2 to 3% of our net GDP for the year on marketing. Like, and it's important that way, because in the downturn where you market, like the marketing that you put out there, we try to attract people that the economy doesn't even affect.
Yeah.
There's people out there that have the money to spend, and they're going to spend it, whether the economy's good or the economy's bad. And that's who we try to attract on the marketing side.
Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to, is putting yourself in front of the people that are actually spending the money, and then also being selective, because sometimes those people that are spending the money, they're not always like super great clients. Like, you can actually, you know, have some shitty clients in there because they've obviously generated so much success and wealth, and sometimes they don't do that, you know, in the kindest way. And I've unfortunately had a couple of those people that are extremely wealthy and just, they could give a shit about, you know, who you are and what you're doing. But you can see, I think, like, after you've been in the game long enough, like your dad, your grandpa, they would know who to work with, who not to work with. You know, just because you got money doesn't mean you're always the right candidate for the job, or, you know, to get your job complete. But okay, cool. So we got Joe's Carpentry. You guys where are you guys located?
In Norwich, Ontario.
Norwich, Ontario. Can we
pull
up Joe's?
Basically the 401, 403 corridor, just south of Woodstock.
Can we pull that up on a map? Okay, here we go. Okay, cool. Can we just zoom out a little bit? Okay, so small little blip there.
Small little blip. It's where I've called home my whole life. Love it.
Okay, it's 3 big businesses out of that small little spot. Okay, can you zoom out a little bit more? A little bit more. Okay, there we go, right there. So we got, how far are you from Brantford and London? Yeah,
about half hour from Brantford, about 50 minutes from London, 20 minutes from Woodstock, and then about 2 hours, hour and a half, depending on where you're going in Toronto, depending on traffic.
And then we're going Hamilton, Oakville, so Toronto's trending up a little bit more. Can we zoom out a little bit further? Okay, so then we got Mississauga, Toronto. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have a bunch of guys up in the Toronto area, Mississauga, Brampton, Oakville, Kitchener, Waterloo. Kitchener, I thought Kitchener and Hamilton were closer together, but that's crazy. Lots of people out there. We got some people in London as well. Can we pull up his website? How many people are in your city?
4,000.
How far do you service then?
We go at about 50 minutes. So we do a lot of work, Woodstock, Tillsonburg, Simcoe, Brantford, that sort of area.
If you expanded your bubble, would you be 1-2 million people?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's it's quite dense down here. We live in a rural community here, a lot of farmers, but with Toronto being so close and it expanding, and people sell it to Toronto and they move all down this way, down the 401, 403. So Hamilton and Kitchener may not seem that close together, but once you drive it, it's pretty close because it's all basically combined. They're connecting.
Right. Cool. That's good, man. Your grandpa should be proud. Your grandpa's proud, eh?
Oh yeah.
He's a proud man. This is
when we hit our 50th year last year. He's 82 now, and he was here, and He stood the entire 5 hours, didn't sit down once. His tools that he came from Holland with are here. He still had them. So we have a chest that they sit in, and people can look at them. He was showing them off, like he was so proud. So it was great.
Wow, I'm getting emotional. Just a little bit. My grandpa wasn't like, he didn't own his own business, but he was definitely part of my life, definitely a part of my guidance. My father wasn't in my life, and as a father, I know how hard this industry is, and this would be super proud to be able to see 3 generations of your family, and even if that's where it ends, and you guys end up selling the company or whatever you end up doing at the end of the day, this would make a man proud for sure. This makes a man proud. I'm proud for him. So
we still visit him at least once a week. So
yeah, man, so cool, crazy. Look at all these beautiful projects. Can we go check out your gallery? 50 years, man. 50 years of like highs and lows, and just different economical shit.
Yeah, they back in the early 2000s, they tried to do subdivisions, and it did not go well.
Wow.
And they almost lost the business at that point. And brought it back from being basically broke and almost on the point of bankruptcy to now to where we are today.
That's crazy. Wow, man. Dude, I mean, it's probably unrealistic, but I'd love to get all 3 generations on this podcast at some point. If you can string that together, I think we can have like up to 5 people on this thing. So, if that's an opportunity at some point.
My dad would be down for that. My grandpa, not too much into technology.
Yeah, I mean, he just has to sit in front of a camera. If somebody can set it up, I do good with old people. I really appreciate what they've done. I really appreciate what he's done. And this industry is just not easy. And I think if anything, if I look at this now and I just consider how hard it is for just one business to continue 1 generation of growth, let alone 2 generations of growth, entering into its 3rd generation of growth is crazy. Like most companies fail after 5 years or less. And you guys are in your 3rd generation. I think it's like from a client's perspective, when you're looking at companies, I mean, this in that area would be an easy no-brainer. And so, at the end of the day, if you position yourself properly, dude, and what you guys are doing obviously right now, and you're successful, I don't know how many other companies in your region that are within a 50 kilometer radius have 3 generations of growth.
No, it's definitely something we lean on our marketing, is that 50 years of being in the business.
Hey, we've got an ad here. Make sure to pay attention. What's up, guys? Are you a contractor or business owner looking to take things to the next level? Well, I've got something for you. The Elite Builder Society is a community that helps contractors grow and scale. For $49 a month, you can have access to 20 group coaching calls. Look, you're probably wondering, how am I going to show up to 20 calls, Brandon? That's a lot. And yeah, it is a lot for $49 a month. But every call is recorded so you can watch it at your leisure. But you get the best experience when you're live on the call with us. Okay, at the end of every webinar, there will be a Q&A where you can ask the industry expert questions that you can implement into your business. Look, if you're ready to take things to the next level for $49 a month, go to ebsworks.com and register today. I look forward to seeing you inside the community.
I would say working with family is great. I love working with family. It's not always the greatest.
Yeah.
It's tough. I get along great with my dad and my brother, but it's not just the business, right? So you don't just see each other in the business, you see each other all the time outside the business. Yeah, and you just got to learn to leave the business at business. And when you're with family, it's family time. And that's one of the biggest things I think my dad has taught us is like, hey, when you're at work, you can have disagreements, you can have things that you go through at work that need to stay at work. As soon as 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever time that is, hits, you get home, business is done. And we're family first, not a business first. So that's been great. And that's actually been really helpful, especially in our family. We can get along really well with each other. Yeah. We also have my uncle's family and his 2 sons are in the business on the cabinetry side. So we're kind of separated out. But I do know that is tough, especially when you have a lot of differencing of opinions coming in and trying to, you have the same end goal, but how to get there differs. And some people are more risk adverse and some people don't want to.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. At the end of the day, it's a lot of different emotions, you know.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
got, man, a powerful legacy that just, I mean, maybe you guys just, I don't know if you're like wound up in it like I am right now. I know it's your business, but like I've gone to a dark place in my business and in life in general. And to be in a business that, you know, weathered dark places multiple times and sacrificed everything and then built, you know, because there's a thing, you know, when you run a business, you prepare a business to feed the families that are part of your business, you take some pride in that. But when it's your family, it's different, you know, like it's a whole nother level, and you get some multiple, you know, connections to your family inside of this business right now, which is good and bad all at the same time. Like there's so much good because of just, you know, the morality of it, you know, and then the bad is that, you know, you can't disconnect as well. Like for sure you could try to turn the light switch off, but I think personally what I would suggest that you guys all, like every family owner that's in this business, is it is a legacy and it is pride. Like your pride should be just dripping through your blood in a way that, you know, your competitors can't even hold, because they don't have what you have, and not a lot of people will and could ever have what you have. You know, there are businesses that are 50 years, 100 years, you know, all that kind of stuff. That is few and far between. And generally it starts to decline at some point, right? Like you're steadily inclining, and that's just incredible. So yeah, man, I love this. This is cool.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your family. You mentioned you had some siblings there.
Yeah. So yeah, oldest of 7, right? So
7.
I'm early 30s, and my youngest sister is 16.
Okay.
And yeah, I got 3 brothers, 3 sisters. My brother
That's
Brent
nice.
is working in the business with us. So I do this. I'm the sales manager here.
Okay.
He's the pre-construction manager, and then my sister Kayla does our marketing. And then from there, my brother Mark, he works for a fence company, and my sister Emma, both of them, they run a landscape mowing company together. Okay. And then my brother Adam works on a farm, and he wants to be a farmer. Yeah, run a farm one day. And then my sister Molly's still young. She's still in school.
So 3 people are in the business.
3 people, yeah.
Yeah. What about Molly? Is she considering coming to work in the business?
No, she's going to pharmacy.
Pharmacy, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And the farmer, does he have what is the farmer farm? Does he, like, it's agricultural, or is it?
It's both. Like, so they do. They have milk cows, and then they also farm. So some
cool
cash cropping.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Christmas is supposed to be crazy. What grandkids? There must be just a bucket of grandkids.
I got 3 nieces and 2 nieces, 1 nephew, and 2 more on the way. 2 more due in like 2 months. Cool. I think in August and August.
That's cool.
So
wow.
Yeah.
And all that was on the back of a construction business.
All in the back of a construction business.
That's crazy.
Funny story about being in the construction business. I've been working for my dad for 6 or 7 years now, back from my dad.
Okay.
I got fired when I was.
Did you? Yeah.
Which I think was probably one of the best things for me.
Yeah, there we go.
Working for family is great, and there's benefits to it, but you need to go work for somebody else to actually know how to work.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to. I think you have to work for somebody else. You have to go through some shit on your own.
Yes.
To develop the pride necessary. Like, I mean, there's a lot of pressure. Personally, I think there would be a lot of pressure in Joe's Carpentry, like having that on your back for the sons and the grandsons and great grandsons. Like, it's a big pride thing.
And I think we can, like, obviously when we talk to Brady, we can get into the pressure of being in the position that, like, I am. Like, this last half a year has not been great for me personally. We changed our sales process. Mm-hmm. What a struggle that was, especially like. It's definitely a lot of work where we had people in the business who had been here for a while and had senior positions fight it.
Yeah.
It was not easy. I had my heart racing, and I literally thought I was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
A couple times.
Well, I mean, it's a lot. You got a lot on the back of that. You got a lot of back on that, and like the industry has changed so much over the past, like, less than a decade. Even in a decade, it's changed so much. You have to methodically approach everything with data-driven decisions. Like, you cannot just willy-nilly decide. And it's almost like, what was the job that you did? You went and worked for somebody. What did you go do?
So basically, I got fired here, right kind of outside of high school, right around that time. I went to the military actually. For co-op. It was in the reserves, so I did that. Got training, so that took like half a year of training.
Yeah.
Became a private in the Canadian Armed Forces as a reserve. Did that for 3 years, but like it was reserve, so you're kind of like weekends and Thursday night training. That was great. I was also working a full-time job. I worked for Subby's Precast. We did high-rise precast buildings.
Okay. Cool.
So a lot of
in that business, I'm just going to use that as an example. In that business, there are systems and processes that exist in executing everything that you did inside of that business, which you probably saw firsthand how they benefited the operation of that business, right? Now, all of those systems and processes were built off of mistakes and failures and missed attempts, right? And so what most construction businesses do is they just move. They just move with their business and they just try to solve problems in real time. And sometimes the problems are, bigger, or they're changing, or they're transforming. And I think what happens a lot of times is like construction business, like the transformation that you guys just went through with, redefining your sales process and building, a different approach, was because you had some data that you could make decisions on, that you could then further create different measurable outcomes. So when you have a data-driven decision, you can control the outcome more consistently, more repeatedly, with less, confusion along the way. And for sure, anybody that's used to doing something for the longest time would see this as like, this is totally different than what we're used to doing. What if we lose a job?
Oh, 100%.
What if we lose? And the likelihood of you losing when you've listened is lower. So there's a higher probability that you'll gain more success than losing.
What's up, guys? I hope you're enjoying this episode of the On-Site Podcast. So here's the deal. We want to grow this show and we need your help. It's simple. Pay the tax, share the show. That's it. Let's get back into it.
Well, I think in COVID, I think everybody was basically scaling their construction business. Everything was busy and we were all scaling. And I think coming out of that, in my experience, sometimes you have to trim the fat in a business, and sometimes taking a step back to take 2 steps forward is so important. And most businesses don't know how to do that and don't want to do that because they think it's almost a sense of defeat. But in reality, we need to take a step back and then we can ramp up even more because we kind of plateaued as a company here. When you
hit like the max amount. I mean, you got a huge territory of space, but you're centralized. So you would feel a bit of a plateau. Like I don't need to ask your sales unless you're comfortable sharing, but like, what are we doing like year to year? Like how big is this company?
$5.5 to $6 million.
Okay. So yeah, it's a decent size.
We got about 20 employees altogether.
Okay. Yeah,
a lot of them are Carpentry and Lagen Homes side. Yeah.
And a lot of them are family. So big responsibilities there. No, I think that, we're definitely gonna have to get Brady back on here with you and chat with him. And I'd love to dig into this with your dad. And I mean, if you can talk your grandpa into coming back and, whatever else, even if it's for like 5 or 10 minutes, I find that I was at the rink one time. So my son, I miss my grandpa a lot too. And I was at the rink one time and I just randomly started talking to this old guy was sitting there. We were watching people, and I find it so astonishing. Life is so precious and it happens so quickly. And along the way, we, as men typically are responsible for a lot of transformation in a lot of the people that we're around. And so I was connected with this guy at the rink, and it was actually his birthday. It was like his 80th birthday or something. And he was there watching his grandson. And we were talking about like the crops and the farm and all these random things I had no interest in, but just having a conversation with him. And his wife leaned over and she's like, I've never seen him so happy to have a conversation with just some random stranger. And I was like, you know what? I think sometimes we in every age forget to celebrate our victories, and your grandfather, I don't know the last time that he's like looking at this Joe's Carpentry and saying, wow, this is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, we won the large business of the year in Norwich Township 2 years ago, and we brought him with to the banquet and stuff, and he was louder than a punch.
Was he crying? Any tears?
Oh yeah, he gets a little emotional.
Oh, he should, man. This is some huge pride here. And so I talked to that guy at the rink for a while, and you can just tell, like every age of people, I know you've shared some big wins in the community there, and and your grandpa's got some victories, your dad's got some victories, everybody's just, we got to celebrate our victories. That's what keeps us giving our momentum, dude. No,
one of our core values, celebrate the wins.
Yeah, you have to celebrate the wins. You absolutely have to celebrate the wins, dude. I'd love to come back to this, bring Brady, your dad, and your grandpa, if you can talk to them even for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think it would be great to, especially how we brought Brady on. I think we can get into that and how Brady helped us as a business.
I love it. I think that would be a great conversation
because we can get more into the sales process and how that evolved. That was a huge help with Brady bringing. Yeah. That's why we brought him on.
I think what we could probably do for that next episode, if we could tie that together, is if we do get check with your dad, check with your grandpa, check with Brady. I think we can have all those people on there. All have to be on separate computers, all connected, and we could even have your grandpa on just for the 5 or 10 minutes, at the beginning, talk a little bit more about like the family dynamic. And then even if your dad and your grandpa want to drop off, and maybe we could just then go in through the sales process, things that you changed, transformed. And, Brady's been working with us for almost a year. I think we connected almost a year ago, feels super close to a year. And, him and I carry different skills and abilities. So my skill is like sales, client acquisition, different tactics, and his is systems. And we're like a match made in heaven, I think.
I think we connected basically the same time. With Brady was kind of in between. What does he want to do?
Yeah,
Brady can talk about that, but yeah. Then he came on.
Yeah, no, he's a wealth of knowledge in the learning space. He's been through a lot of different programs, and so I'm excited to bring him on. I know he'll be down for this. Yeah, so you talk to your dad. You convince your grandpa, okay, and let's have a freaking a killer podcast. I think that would be super fun, and hopefully we can get a little emotional in the process, because this is something to be proud of, dude. Like I'm proud for all of you, and even you had mentioned the hardship that you kind of went through when you're transforming things. Think about that compounded and the pressure of your whole family, under one person's belt. That's crazy. That's cool, man. I'm excited. Well, episode 60. That was great. Anything else you want to share with us today before we wrap this up?
No, I think we can get into it in the next podcast.
All right, cool. So we're going to do a part 2.
Something to look forward to.
Yeah, we're going to do a part 2. Probably, I don't know. It'll be a little bit. This is going to air on August 3rd. So we would have already had the contractor growth seminar. And then following this episode, there's going to be a couple more maybe. And then we're going to actually have some live episodes coming up from the contractor growth seminar in Chilliwack. So I think we're going to record like 4 or 5. So Joe, we'll try to get you and your grandpa back after our live podcasts. So I'll work with my producer to get that scheduled up. But appreciate you and your business. Appreciate your support inside of the EBS. And I'm excited to meet your family. Stoked, dude. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
All right, that concludes this episode of the On-Site Podcast. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, please pay the tax, share the show. Guys, if you want to be a part of the Elite Builder Society, all you got to do is pay $49 a month. That's it. $49 a month. You get 20 group coaching calls every month. Okay? Go to ebsworks.com and register today. If you enjoyed the show, please pay the tax and share the show.